My father died like 2.5, 3 years ago. He passed away. I asked the doctor why he passed away, because he passed away sudden. Doctor told me that his age and his ethnicity were probably gonna just say it's hypertension. So they just blamed it on hypertension and high blood pressure. They just categorized him based on his statistics. So at that point, I was like, okay, if that's the way we operating out here, then no pun intended, but I'm gonna go to the schools and school the kids so they can understand what's ahead of them, so they can teach their mom or their grandpas or their tios and their tias and all of these people to eat better while they can before we become another statistic. My name is Yancy Deron, AKA Yogee, and I'm a spiritual gardener, creative artist, an inspirational officer to the youth, and a family man. A lot of these kids don't know where vegetables come from. They're used to Takis and hot Cheetos from the liquor store. But when you get in the soil and you see them, that satisfaction of pulling a carrot up or ripping a cabbage off the ground or clipping some kale, it's like, it's different. And they have a much different respect for their food and taste and flavor. Because they are in a lower income community, they aren't able to buy the organic produce. And then once you start to grow up without organic produce, you don't even know it exists. So when you're eating hot Takis and Cheetos and ramen, Louisiana fish and shrimp, you know, fried chicken, I know what that's about, but they don't yet. So exposing them to something different is a challenge, but it's a necessity because otherwise they're gonna continue the cycle. My mom's from Benton, Louisiana, which is very outskirtish type of place in northern Louisiana. When she came to California, she kept a lot of that gardening, she kept a lot of that knowledge that she learned from being out in the field. And once I started seeing something grow from a seed, seeing that seed crack open and seeing that plant, that first sprout come out, I was like, this is life, yo, like this is living. It's always been around me, but I never really took a liking to it. I never really spent the time to really say like, you know, dig in until I wanted to separate myself from music and just felt tired and drained from, you know, trying to make music my life. My music really started as a hobby and an expression. When we were in high school, a little bit before that, I used to write a lot of poetry. And from high school, meeting a couple fellows, we just really found that as an expression and played with it. It was nothing serious. But once we graduated high school, it felt like we could do something with it, but we were talking about all type of nonsense. I was just so close to music, and I wasn't modeling music after my life. I was modeling my life after music. And it really put me in a darker place. I was in a very depressional state because of my choices. And I really had a self-reflection on just like, how did I get to this point? It was really eye-opening to say that I'm here now and I don't have to be in this space. I can work my way out of it. So once I set music aside, I had to deal with my problems. I had to deal with the battles and the challenges that were ahead that were gonna launch me further in life. I allowed myself to just be released of all the stuff that I used to do or the things that, you know, to keep my ego up, and it really just allowed my real self to shine through, and I found the soil, I found the nature, you know. When I started to do gardening and horticulture and agriculture, and then I started working with the kids with music and then teaching it out with the healthy cooking, it all came as a process and a journey. And then with the addition of my son and the family, it just all makes sense on like how crucial it is to connect all the dots. My family is a direct reflection of why I get up and go to work and why I get up and teach these kids. It's just growth. My family keeps that pulse pulsating. It's blessings in everything. My pops passed away, but he left me with a gift. I can only smile. I don't have anything in my heart that can keep me from like bonding with him when we meet again or anything like that. It's a blessing. being a father now, it just gives me more fuel to take what he taught me and showed me indirectly and directly and even do it better. When working in the soil, it is blissful because in the soil, you're concentrating on something and you're putting your energy and focus on to another life, but it's not a human life. So it's very blissful, it's very peaceful, it's very tranquil to a busy mind to like really put their hands in the soil because all the things just settle. It seems like everything just settles and you're able to be one with nature. I get that feeling of like that electrical feeling. I get that feeling of knowing that I'm doing something right that's giving back to the earth, especially when we talk about soil. I get that feeling of regenerative. When you compost, you're taking all the food scraps, put it in a box, and we control and create a ecosystem. So compost is taking a food scrap and making it the healthiest soil ever by just paying attention to it and giving it the time and the reverence that it needs to then become soil, which then goes back into your plants and it's the most healthiest. What really made me continue to put my hands in the soil, because the soil is the foundation of everything. And with healthy soil, with a healthy foundation, with a healthy family, with a healthy mind, a healthy body, we can do all these other things, but without these foundational standpoints, we're not going to reach our highest capabilities, our highest callings. When I walk into a classroom, I walk in there and I tell them the story of my father, and I told them I don't want them to see them that way. I know you don't think about your future much, but think about your mom. She's much older than you. You know, think about your grandfather, think about your uncle and your aunt. These are things that you can share with them that you're learning in this gardening class and this agriculture class. Then when you start seeing them want to take some home for their mom or their dad or whoever, like, can I take some kale home? I'm like, of course you could take some home. So it makes me feel great. That's how I'm able to keep going, is through the youth and how they empower themselves and learn the things they're empowering me right back.